The No Fade channel, checking in. On this episode of Dad's Home Gym, I'm giving you my 10-week review of this Rep Fitness AB-3100. I know the thumbnail and the title probably said 1 month review, but let's face it, 1 month review, a lot more catchy than a 10-week review. Today I'm gonna go over this Rep Fitness AB-3100 adjustable bench. I'm gonna do a deep dive, not just the cost, not just why I went with this one, but everything, how I've been using it, how often I've been using it, how it has met my expectations, or if it exceeded my expectations, why I went with the 3100 over their 5100 or their flat bench, and why I went with Rep Fitness over, say, Rogue or Again Faster, or all the other home gym equipment companies that have an adjustable bench. First and foremost, I want to know right now in the comments below which adjustable bench or flat bench are you using in your home gym, and if you like it. If this happens to be your first time to the channel, while you're down there dropping a comment, give this video a like and hit that subscribe button. On this Dad's Home Gym series, I simply review a piece of home gym equipment on every episode to help you decide if it's going to be right for your home gym, for your workout routine, and most importantly, if it is worth your hard-earned money. Woo! I went with this AB-3100 for two main reasons. Number one, first and probably foremost, was the surface. The previous adjustable bench that I had a slippery kind of fake leather surface, and using it was downright uncomfortable. Oftentimes I felt that I was sliding off, and most of the time I felt like I was using almost all my stabilizing muscles to keep myself square on the bench rather than putting that effort into actually driving the weight. And this AB-3100 version 3 has an improved surface that has a nice texture to it. It feels nice on the hand, but it's grippy. So it allows you, whether you're doing an overhead press, whether you do an incline or even a flat bench press, to really drive through on this pad without feeling like you are sliding off at all. And the second factor when it came to this AB-3100 was cost. I was looking at so many different benches that ranged in prices and in functionality. I ended up going with this AB-3100 because I thought it offered a great value for what it delivered. It offered a low cost for a high output of value. I picked it up for $209 new, plus $34 shipping here to Massachusetts, so $243 total, and I thought that was a steal in today's market. I will say at the time I'm shooting this video that this is out of stock. I'm assuming it's going to come back in stock to Rep Fitness's website. You know, that stuff goes in and out of stock quickly, but I do know they have been raising their prices. So if you're watching this video and wondering why the price points don't match up, it might be because they raised their prices, and that does make sense. They've got low inventory and high demand. It's only a matter of time before their prices reflect that. I want to talk about some of the schematics with respect to this AB-3100, talk about my personal experience using this over the past 10 weeks, and then finally do a full breakdown on who this is right for, depending on your personal workout style and space. So first and foremost, I'll put all the dimensions up here so you can get a feel for how much space this actually takes up, because if I just tell you how much it takes up, you're not really going to get a feel for it. So I'm just going to put it up there and you can do your own measuring. One of the things with regards to this bench over some of their other options is that there is a gap here in the middle where the seats lift. Most of their options do have a small gap. They do have a few non-gap options. Those are quite expensive, at least compared to the 3100. And that's one of the reasons I went with the 3100 was because, again, this gap isn't going to be an issue for me. They say that the gap is 2 inches total, and I will tell you that it's only 2 inches at the very edges. In the middle, it is down to 1.75 inches. I don't necessarily mind this gap. The previous adjustable bench I had a massive gap. It was like no man's land. So this 2-inch gap here on the edges with a smaller gap in the middle is nothing to me. And frankly, after the first week of use, I have not noticed that gap whatsoever. I will say if you are thinking about going with the non-gap versions, I thought those price points really just went through the roof for me because I'm a cheapskate. So if you don't like that gap, if you really don't like that gap, you might want to consider getting this bench and getting their flat comp bench. I forgot what the name of it is. I'll put the photo up here. That will give you 2 benches almost for the price of that one non-gap bench. But that's just my thoughts personally. Obviously, if space is tight and you want a non-gap bench, then you want to go with the non-gap adjustable bench. The seat, which is a big fan favorite of mine, super comfortable. It does lift up into two inclined positions. This is the most inclined, and this is the lower inclined position. I will say I do tend to use the lower inclined position when I do overhead presses. This has this seat lifted up a little bit allows me to really drive through with my legs and not slide off the seat at all. The seat cushion itself, as I mentioned, is really nice, very, very grippy. The AB-3100 has 6 inclined positions, everything from 90 degrees all the way down to 180. I will say, coming from an adjustable bench that only had 3 positions, 6 is way more than I need. I know that they offer a few benches that have even more than 6. I just don't necessarily know if you would use them. One of the reasons I didn't go with their more expensive benches is because I just frankly know I'm not going to use them. One thing that the AB-3100 does not have, and something that I necessarily don't use, and I don't even know if I would use it if I had it, because I was never a big fan, is a decline position. You cannot do a decline position with this bench. Some people love their decline position, whether it's for decline bench press or inclined sit-ups. Not me, not my bag. So that's something to consider when dealing with or deciding on the AB-3100. The only downside, the only small, slight negative with regard to this AB-3100, and it is one that you really need to be looking for to notice, is this front handle. There's a handle here to lift this bench up and adjust it, move it around on its wheels. And if you look closely and if you're really anal retentive, you notice that the handle is just off center. Not so much that it's a nuisance or it's a bother or it's going to impact how this actually balances, but it is off center just enough, and that was the only real negative I could find with respect to this bench. In terms of stability, the bench is really stable. It's got 3 points of contact, two in the back, 1 in the front. My floor in my basement is not even. It's not balanced. It's actually pitched, and I haven't noticed much, if any, of an issue with regards to this bench. It's super thick, super durable, super hefty, and once I get this thing set up, it doesn't move, it doesn't budge. It is exactly how I want it to handle, if not better than my expectations on the price point. My personal experience with this AB-3100 has been over the moon. I'm overjoyed, over ecstatic. But let's quickly give a discussion point on their more expensive benches. Now, they've got a no gap one that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. They also have an adjustable bench that's a higher end version that you would probably see at your local gym, that has a pin that you can pull out and just move the bench rather than have to manually adjust it yourself. And frankly, I don't feel like I'm missing out on any of the extra bells and whistles that come with those more expensive products. I just don't think I'm going to miss them. Some of those features I don't think I'm going to use. And ultimately, I happen to think that the more intricate of a build or a design, the more potential for malfunction down the road, years and years down the road. I don't necessarily see anything on this bench that could actually break, knock on wood, but that's just me. I will say, as I mentioned, I think at the beginning of this video, if I was a professional bench presser, if I was doing just squats, bench, and deadlifts, and I really had an issue with the gap on this bench press or any bench press, I would probably go with this product for my incline and my overhead presses, and then just buy their comp bench just for bench pressing. Reason being is, I think if you add this bench and the comp bench total, you're still underneath what some of their more expensive no gap and adjustable bench presses would cost you. And obviously it's going to take up more space, but it's probably going to be better to have 2 benches for the price of 1 if space is not going to be an issue. If you have any questions regarding the AB-3100 or any of the other Rep Fitness products, drop them in the comments below and I'll get them answered. I do have a Rep Fitness affiliate link in the description of this video. How does it work? You click on that link, you check out Rep Fitness, see if there's anything that suits your fancy, and if you do happen to check out using that link, it does give me a kickback, and it helps me, give me a reason to do these reviews and put the time and the effort in to actually creating these videos to hopefully help you make the right decision for your home gym. Everyone's home gym is different with regards to the space, their costs that they have to spend on that equipment, and what they're actually doing for their workouts. For me, I'm not a professional weightlifter. I'm just a dad trying to get a good workout in the basement with barbells and dumbbells and just kind of stay as fit as I can while enjoying my home gym environment here in 2021. If you came this far in the video, do me a huge, huge favor. Give this video a like, hit that subscribe button. As usual, thank you for watching, and don't save anything for the trip back. This channel is dedicated to my life as a father of 2 wonderful children, and it centers around health, fitness, and all of the tricks and tribulations that I go through to try to be a great parent to my children and still accomplish my own personal goals.